For the first time ever from beautiful Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's the 2012 Verbies. The stars are already arriving. Hey, it's Mac Brown in a burnt orange suit. That wasn't the only thing getting burnt this season, am I right? Oh my, it's Bobby Petrino with an intern. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You still know how to recruit him, Coach P. She won't be wearing that red shirt for long. Hey-oh, who is Bill Snyder wearing tonight? Is that Men's Warehouse or Starter? Well, if it isn't Derek Dooley. Aren't you glad you let him keep those pants? I know the ladies are. And look over there, it's Lane Kiffin sneaking in through a side door. Don't think we didn't see that, you sly little fox. Now, is that John Embry? Of course it is. Is he looking for a Verby or a bag of Cheetos? You know what that's about. Somebody call security. It's Gene Chiswick with Jeff Tedford and John L. Smith. Mark Richt has lost all control over this red carpet. And last but not least, it's Coach Tommy Tuberville. Oh, wait a minute. Where'd he go? Seriously, he was just here a second ago. Now, your hosts, Ty Hildenbrandt and Dan Rubenstein.
Welcome to the Solid Verbal Verby presentation ceremony, Dan.
Thank you for having me. I literally can say thank you for having me.
Indeed.
Because we are in, where are we, Ty?
We are in Northampton, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
For those watching the video, you can see that there is a distinct vision of a bedroom.
Yep. This is either your childhood bedroom or the most elaborate soundstage and really waste of money soundstage to have ever been concocted.
This was the original Dan Patrick Show set.
Yes.
They decided to go a different direction.
The first iteration, and we just stumbled upon it.
So now you've taken the bus down here from New York.
Yeah.
You finally came to the vaunted Solid Verbal Studios.
Hummer limousine to the
Hummer.
Verbies.
Oh, excuse me.
With the hot tub and just ladies.
You've got the tie. I've got the sport coat and the sweater. This is a big deal.
It's an event.
This is an event. We're charging people for this.
Yeah.
They can watch the video. They can see what's going on. We put a lot of time and effort into this thing to try and make it as special as we can.
This is true. You don't just like you don't just go into Papa John's Stadium.
No one just goes into Papa John's Stadium.
You don't just casually arrive in the Lehigh Valley at Mama Hildenbrandt's place looking sloppy and unpresentable for such a vaunted award show. Right. So yes, we had to look a little bit nice.
So we did it up for the Verby ceremony. We're going to get to that here in just a little bit, of course. Before we did any of our preparations here today, we were sure to eat a lasagna meal from Mama H.
Craft Services. Yes.
It just top of the line everything.
It was really, really good. I'm ready for a nap in your childhood room.
We're carb overload right now is what we've got going on. But this has been a real nice day so far. We're pleased that people would download this show. Mm-hmm. We're excited about it. For those of you new to the Solid Verbal, maybe new to the Verbies, basically we
don't normally charge.
We don't normally charge for anything. We don't normally charge for anything.
Right.
And my hunch is people who have listened to the free shows know why.
Right.
They know why we don't charge. But this is a special occasion. We're using the money from this to get us to Miami to cover the BCS National Championship game between
Hooker. Okay. Yeah.
Between Notre Dame and Alabama. Watch what you say, Dan.
I'm sorry.
You're in Mama H's house.
I am in the Temple O Tie.
This is true. This is
the Tie Dome.
The Tie Dome.
As I've learned that you called this place earlier on.
It's full of mystique. There's no doubt about it.
I love it.
But for those of you new to this, we call it the Verbies.
Yes.
You actually came up with the idea back in 2009. And I remember having the conversation with you.
It's a different time, Ty.
It was.
It's a much simpler time.
You said to me, Herb Street's got the Herbies.
Mm-hmm.
We need something like, well, he does his at the beginning,
right?
I think of the season.
Correct.
And you said, what about the Verbies?
Just makes
good sense. And at that point, we were throwing everything against the wall.
Yep.
We couldn't have cared less. We just, hey, content, yes, we're in. So we started the Verbies. We made a big production of it, and it seemed to do pretty well. We did it the following year. And then last year was difficult to get it done.
It's a struggle.
It was a struggle, and we ended up doing it this year. So technically, we've now done 2 Verbies in 1 calendar year.
We're just giving the world so much entertainment.
So that's what we're here to do. These are the 2012 Verbies, and we couldn't have done any of this without so much help from the Verballers out there. We had a list of people, which I'll read through here.
The Ninja Squad.
The Comet Ninja Squadron. As some people know from Deadspin, they have a Comet Ninja Squadron, we chose to name ours the Verbies Ninja Squadron here,
right,
to handle all the Verbies stuff. So
good attribution.
Thank you. We will get through the Ninja Squadron in just a little bit here. As you know, we posted these nominations out on our website, solidverbal.com. We gave the Verballers at large a chance to, I don't know what at large means. It's like an at large.
It means we gave the Verballers who have escaped from incarceration
exactly.
the opportunity to vote.
So we gave them a chance to vote. Many of these races were very, very tight. We are going to announce the winners here. Are you ready to get into this, Dan?
I am. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Alternate uniform of the year.
Ooh.
Alternate uniform of the year. One of the most popular categories that we have here on the Solid Verbal. A lot of people get into this thing.
Yeah.
I know you do. I know we discuss it from time to time. Every now and again, someone will throw a Pro Combat out there. Notre Dame will do its weird Shamrock Series thing. And, a couple years ago, I remember it was the Helmet Rose for, was it Wisconsin or TCU? One of the two had
TCU. Well, they both incorporated the rose in consecutive years.
Right.
TCU did the rose in the horned frog's mouth, and then last year Wisconsin incorporated a rose pattern into their logoing and numbering.
That's right. Well, I remember the horned frog then was the one that won the Verby.
Right. Y'all made fun of Oregon.
This is true.
Alternate uniforms. Suddenly, who doesn't? I mean, seriously, who doesn't have an alternate uniform?
You need one now.
USC doesn't.
It's a recruiting tool at this point, right?
It is. New colors, new logos. Oh. Kids like the shine.
Kids like the shine.
Yeah.
So, as you might imagine, this is one of those that we get a lot of nominations for.
Sure.
A ton of them. We tried to pick out the most popular 5 or 6. Your nominations this year for alternate uniform of the year.
Ooh.
Penn State with the names on the back.
Is that alternate?
It was different.
An addition, yes. Okay. Fair.
After decades of having that one uniform.
Right.
To now have this one, it's about as close to alternate at this juncture as Penn State's going to get.
So that nomination honors fonts.
This is true.
Yeah. A phone is ringing. That is so typical Solid Verbal.
We have a phone call. Okay, who is calling here? This is interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
I was wondering who was calling.
West Virginia. I don't know. West Virginia?
Yeah, okay. West Virginia with...
all gray.
I like the grays. I'm a gray fan.
UCLA with the navy blue LA Knight jerseys.
LA Lights. Is LA Knights or LA Lights?
LA
Knights.
I saw LA Knights, yeah.
LA Lights might have been a softcore title from the late 90s. LA Knights.
Yeah.
To double check. I'm a huge fan of the old UCLA swirly numbers.
Yes.
That they used to have, and they went away from that, and they brought that back with the LA Knights look. What I'm not such a huge fan of is UCLA slowly becoming Cal in their look. We're going with the navy blue because it's the same typeface or a very similar one on the helmets. So that threw me off a little. But I can appreciate the effort by UCLA and Adidas.
UCLA just needs to stick to that powder blue.
I love that. I mean, their uniform, that when they were making their run, their Cade McNown.
Oh, yeah.
The powder blue and gold with the giant swirly numbers with the gold helmets. An unreal. I love that look so much.
Don't change anything.
Yeah.
Another popular request, the Maryland Black Ops uniforms.
I'm liking it.
The Maryland Black Ops uniforms.
They've taken some chances.
They have with Under Armour.
I like the turtle print, the white turtle print one, but the Black Ops one I thought was real sharp.
Very sharp. And then there was the Mississippi State Snow Bowl uniform, the white, the all white uniforms. Now we had a number of nominations. Some people on Twitter were asking us about this, but a number of nominations as well for the, I believe, black uniforms that A&M wore in that game.
Right.
And it didn't receive enough nominations. That's why it's not on here, because we got a lot of these, and these were the most popular 5.
It was not inspired, but very similar to the look that Boise State had.
Yes,
with
of
the
course.
giant outline of the Bronco on their helmet, and Mississippi State obviously with the giant bulldog. I like that look.
Okay, so
very sharp.
So those were the ones that we closed with.
Right.
When we took this thing to voting. Just based on what you're hearing there, are there any ones that really jump out to you?
The problem with the Black Ops is people are so torn and polarized by the Maryland looks. Right. I really like. I think the Black Ops might be it for me. My UCLA opinion is a little bit lower. I really like the. I think it said something universally on the back of the Mississippi State ones. I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember what, because we don't do enough research, and our memories
Mississippi State.
Gone, and it's Mississippi State.
And because at this point, people have already paid $199.
Right, exactly.
We already got their money.
We are promising you I mean, you've already paid, but
Right.
$2 worth of entertainment.
That's it. No more, no less.
If we were working for $2 an hour,
Right.
this show would not be allowed to happen. So
Also
you are
true.
dealing with a rarity in life.
All right. Well, again, you know the nominations: Penn State, West Virginia, UCLA, Maryland, and Mississippi State.
Yeah, what do we got?
The envelope, please. We don't have an envelope. But we'll just
The proverbial envelope, please.
drum roll. Congratulations to UCLA.
Oh, there's an 8 clap there. Okay.
UCLA. The navy blue LA Knights uniforms win the 2012 Verby
Yeah.
for alternate uniform of the year. I will say the voting for this one was very, very close.
Right.
And by that, I mean four. Four
away.
4 votes separated UCLA from Maryland
That's incredible.
in this category. So this was kind of a big deal. Congratulations to UCLA and the UCLA fandom out there who who voted for UCLA. It is a resurgence on a number of different levels for the Bruins this year.
Yes, an interesting look. Congratulations to the Bruins and the fashion-forward eyes of Adidas in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I know certain beat writers were gushing over them, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But, it's Pac-12.
No doubt.
Future first.
Not Coach of the Year.
Another popular Verbies category.
Yes.
Not Coach of the Year.
Right.
Very literally named here.
It's the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year
Right.
in actual college football awards world.
Sure.
So I don't know who it would be named at. We haven't named this after anybody, but the Not Coach of the Year is very prestigious.
Absolutely. Very prestigious award. As you might imagine, a number of different nominations that came in.
Yes.
Many with the same name. Everyone sort of had the same idea for this one.
This is a tough category.
It
As
is.
college football expectations have increased over the years, the spotlight is shown ever the brighter on terrible coaches. So, and this year, I mean, between SEC coaches, certain Pac-12 coaches, Big Ten coaches, we saw in a terrible year.
Yeah.
You could nominate an easy does for this award.
Interestingly enough, as we read through the list of nominations, no John Embry.
Wow.
No
I think
John
just
Embry.
because they're just so far off the map.
Colorado was a Tire Fire of the Year nominee, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
I think that's fair.
But no John Embry here. Let me read through the 5 choices people had.
Hit me.
And then I'm going to pose a sort of backwards question for you.
Yeah.
Not Coach of the Year nominations. Lane Kiffin from USC.
Man, preseason number 1 to unranked. that's I'm just impressed.
Right. The man who replaced him when he bolted for USC at Tennessee, Derek Dooley. Derek Dooley. Gene Chizik.
Wow. 0 SEC wins about a year and 10 months after winning the national championship.
Kirk Ferentz.
Unfireable Kirk Ferentz. Iowa just really just pooping on anybody's desire to watch the Big Ten.
And then John L. Smith, who, of course, was put into a very difficult situation.
Yes, Arkansas.
Of those 5 names,
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin, Derek Dooley, Gene Chizik, Kirk Ferentz, John L. Smith, who got the lowest number of votes, do you think?
The lowest number of those would probably be Ferentz, if I had to guess, just because there's just the passion for Iowa football and the opinions don't seem as strong and polarizing and just inflammatory towards the Hawkeyes as perhaps other squads on that list.
I was a little bit surprised by the fact that Derek Dooley
Really?
came in
Well,
last place.
here's the thing about Dooley.
He has orange pants.
He has orange. He was never that good.
No.
So with Lane Kiffin, there was success last year with USC, a 10-win season with all sorts of offensive firepower coming back. Gene Chizik. So I think maybe people are more focused on the fall, where USC fell from, where Auburn fell from, where Arkansas was last year. Iowa won the Orange Bowl a couple of years ago.
I could see that.
Right.
Okay. Well, without further ado here,
we
let's
go.
get to, again, your not Coach of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not Coach of the Year. He's wearing a baggy tuxedo, folks.
He is.
7 sizes too big. Lane Kiffin, come
Lane
get
Kiffin.
your award.
Congratulations,
Oh, yeah.
It was a charmed year for Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Again, they went from being number 1.
AP preseason number 1.
AP preseason number 1 to the El Paso Sun Bowl, or whatever they're calling it.
Sunfinished business,
That's
as
what
it were.
is. That's what it is. Unbelievable.
Through a miraculous year of no line play or just no consistent line play on the offensive side, and just terrible tackling and defensive strategy and keys. Gosh, USC. I mean, now here's my question.
Yeah.
If Lane Kiffin were not to arrive at the Verbies, I feel like it would be more than reasonable for Monty to accept this award on behalf. I feel like that wouldn't miss.
Lane Kiffin would have made the video. Like, I can't make it because
Right.
I'm out recruiting.
Wait, you're saying it too eloquently and with your mouth too wide open.
Oh, right.
Thank you guys so much for honoring the USC defense and offense, and we couldn't done it without all of the guys that it's their fault and not mine.
Do you ever get the impression that Lane Kiffin is just so boring an individual, trying to act as if he's a little more exciting than he is?
Yes, I do get that impression sometimes.
I feel like, I mean, he's obviously an ace recruiter.
Right.
He's done wonderful things on the recruiting trail.
He's done a great job of recruiting kids to the most popular school on the West Coast.
He's tremendous at it.
Terrific. Just difficulty there. Degree of difficulty.
And I've never met Lane Kiffin in person. So if anyone out there is,
I have interviewed him. Yeah.
Is he as exciting in person as you might expect from an ace recruiter?
He is. The charisma to me was not there.
Yeah.
He was just boom, boom, boom and answering my questions, which was fine. He was professional and courteous. Sure. I just know of the USC beat writer friends the show has, some of them take a particular glee in making him smile, as if that is such a rare occurrence, smiling and laughing. So there's that. When he actually stays for the duration of his media time.
Doesn't sneak out through
right.
a side door or
just walk out after 27 seconds. Yeah.
Of course. So, okay. Well, congratulations to Lane Kiffin. We're now 2 Verbies in already, Dan.
Yes.
2 Verbies in.
Moving at a nice clip.
This was one that I don't think caught anyone by surprise that Lane Kiffin would win this award.
Right.
Okay.
Random factoid that may only interest Tom Hammond. Random factoid that may only interest Tom Hammond of the year.
Tom Hammond takes a beating on our show.
Can I tell you the production value so far during the Verbies?
Worth $1.99?
You're talking about maybe even worth $2.49.
What?
Yeah.
No, this is about the most work we do.
Yeah.
In the span of a calendar year for this. The random factoid that may only interest Tom Hammond was my idea last year. Or maybe it was someone else's idea and I'm just taking credit for it.
That's fair.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Hammond is the all-time king, and he didn't do much of it this year, ironically.
You kept waiting for it. You kept waiting for GPAs that never arrived.
It never happened, but Tom Hammond has traditionally driven me up a tree because he has this practice of waiting until a key moment in a game to recite a completely meaningless fact.
Right.
A GPA, a hobby, a hometown, a high school.
Something about a family member. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has incessantly done this now since taking over as the lead voice on the Notre Dame
Where do you
broadcast.
think it really took off from? Did it come off from the Brady Quinn, AJ Hawk thing? I mean, I don't know if he was calling. I don't think he was calling that game.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how pissed he was that he wasn't calling that game?
God. That would have been his heaven. So this, as a lifelong Notre Dame fan and someone who takes the games, you met my mom.
Oh, yes.
A little too seriously. We'll just say that.
I wouldn't say too seriously. Whatever Mama Hildenbrandt does with her life, I'm pro.
I'm like her. We take it way too seriously.
Right.
But for me, she might get into stuff like that and the romanticism of the game. For me, I just want to watch the damn game.
Right.
I don't care if he's got a 1.2 GPA.
Right.
If he can score a touchdown in this situation, Tom, I don't really care.
Notre Dame football. Yeah.
I don't really care. So we started this one last year, and it was a overwhelming success. And I believe Brock Osweiler at 6'8" was the winner. Basically what this is.
Who turned out to be not 6'8".
Who turned out to be not 6'8".
He was like 6'6" and 7/8 at the combine.
It was a huge lie, and we were all living it, Dan, which made the whole thing worse.
Yeah.
This award, though, is given annually to the random fact that people trot out there, that the media catches wind of, that is talked about and re-talked about over and over again.
So give me those nominees.
The thing that you get sick of hearing about. First and foremost, Jordan Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers' brother.
Got it. Needed to hear it once, and I remembered.
Secondly, a 2-time nominee, Zach Maynard and Keenan Allen are brothers.
What? Unbelievable.
All right. Quarterbacks from Alabama, did you know, won the first 3 Super Bowls?
I did know that, yes, I did.
You hear that once. Again, you hear it once, I'm good. I'm good. And then a bit of a hybrid answer here, Dan. Nick Saban enjoys Little Debbie's. Now,
Right.
here's what's interesting about this. The origin was the Sports Center commercial, the game day commercial, I believe. Right?
I think so. That sounds right to me.
That was how it gained steam.
I remember seeing it this year with Samantha Steele.
Sure.
When she did her piece behind the scenes. Yeah.
So that helped it gain steam from wherever it originated.
Right.
And since then, a lot of people talking about Nick Saban and Little Debbie. A lot of cheap Little Debbie's jokes floating around out there on the Twitter and the internet and wherever else. So with that in mind, those were your 4 nominees for Random Factoid that may only interest Tom Hammond.
He is literally preserved by the preservatives in the snack cakes. That is what keeps his robotic engine going.
All right, here we go. Without further ado.
There we go.
Nick Saban enjoys Little Debbie's.
Little Debs!
Little Debs wins a Verby for the first time ever.
Have you had a Little Debbie snack cake?
Not in a while.
I don't think we have those on the West Coast.
Not in a while.
And if we do, not where I shopped.
There was a point in my life, I want to say junior high-ish, middle school-ish.
Right.
Addicted.
To the snack cakes. Does Little Debbie have different products as a company? Or is it?
I believe so. They used to have these oatmeal cream cakes.
Okay.
With, I hope I'm thinking of the right thing, but they had kind of like a real soft oatmeal cookie on either side.
Right.
And then cream or icing or something in the middle.
That sounds delicious.
Addicted.
What year was this? In high school? This was high school time?
Yeah, before high school, like early 90s, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in that range.
At the start of high school, when more advanced snacks were being made available to me, I was all about the Hostess donuts.
Ooh.
Remember those?
Yes.
Sleeve about 5 or 6, with the chocolate, not the powder or the cake.
Right.
Wow. And those are still my go-to drunk food. So good to know that Nick Saban, Little Debbie snack cakes, and the Solid Verbal are all tied together.
We are now.
Yes.
Forever linked.
2 Little Debs in the morning, I believe, is where he is.
2 Little Debs.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worst year back.
Ooh.
Worst year back is a new category.
I like that little emo string right there.
Do you want to play it again?
Play it
You
again.
want to do that again?
Yeah.
Worst year back.
Real introspective. Really
It kind of has a depressing feel to
I want
it.
to go skip stones on a lake at moonlight. I'm like, oh, what have I done?
Worst year back is a new category this year. We didn't put it on the website.
Right.
We didn't give people a chance to nominate. We didn't give people a chance to even vote on this one.
This is sort of the arts and sciences portion of the show where it's decided in a different way, or it's maybe honoring the lifetime achievement where there's not really up to voting.
Right. It's
decided by
worst year back.
the Academy.
So you and I are going to put our heads together, and in true Solid Verbal fashion,
Right.
we actually did not discuss this before.
No, we didn't.
We're going to give out worst year back on the spot.
Who are we deciding between?
First, let me give the background on this.
Give me the background.
Worst year back. Player comes back, could have gone pro last year, maybe even couldn't have gone pro last year.
Right.
Just a guy who this season, after this season, could go pro and did surprisingly less than he was expected.
As it were.
Right. Went very meh and didn't do much to improve his stock.
Right.
So I'm just trying to find someone out there who had a worse year back than Matt Barkley. I don't want to bang on USC here.
Right.
I don't want to just gang up on them. And, well, it's fun to make fun of USC.
Right.
We're going to get to the Mr. Softy music just a little bit, of course. But
yeah, obviously.
I don't want to do this to just USC, but who had a worse year back than Matt Barkley?
I mean, you're going to look at Arkansas as a team coming off of the expectations, but then they deal with their own off-the-field issues.
Sure.
And Tyler Wilson came back. I think he had to.
Yeah. Could also give this to Derek Dooley if you wanted.
Give it to Derek Dooley, but you're really looking for somebody who took a slope downwards.
Yeah.
Coming up from their Aspen peak.
Sure.
I don't know who it is. I'm trying.
Matt Barkley, I think it has to be the favorite here.
Right.
Landry Jones is another name.
Okay.
Landry Jones had good numbers, though. I mean, it wasn't like...
He had a good year. He was a good quarterback.
I don't think he can win this award. There's no chance. Beyond that, Dan,
here's the problem. Matt Barkley is the favorite because he tumbled from the summit. Landry Jones tumbled from base camp. I think that's the difference.
No, very, very true. Well, your thoughts then. Where do you want to go with this?
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to go sun-finished business. You're talking about a quarterback who I don't know if he finished with 15 interceptions, was at 15 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's too many. And he was nominated in one of the nominated actual real life awards.
Yeah.
He threw for as many at one point interceptions as the other 3 finalists combined. I think it was Geno Smith, Landry Jones, and maybe EJ Manuel. So this is almost the first annual Matt Barkley Award, and it would be weird to give it to anybody else.
This is in honor of Jake Locker, by the way, this award.
Jake Locker, but yeah. Jake Locker just fooled everybody and continues to fool people.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
So, all right, you go, Matt Barkley. Your winner of the 2012 Worst Year Back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, who could it be?
I concur, Matt Barkley.
Matt Barkley.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt.
come on.
Congratulations. You know, it's good to win something after what's been a tumultuous season in Southern California.
May I add something?
By all means.
By all accounts, a thoroughly likable human being.
Yeah, you would think that, right?
Threw it to too many people wearing different colored uniforms.
You just can't do that.
Right.
You cannot do that.
Right.
So, congratulations, Matt Barkley. You win the first ever Worst Year Back award.
Right.
All right. Let's move on.
Oh, this one's fun.
Let's move on. Yes, indeed. Let's go to, well, have a listen.
Host meme of the year.
This is very much a solid verbal-oriented award.
Yes, it is.
Host meme of the year. Dan and I are particularly goofy. We're just so funny.
We bring the goofs. We're goofy.
We get funny when we talk about college football.
If there were a solid verbal movie, it would be called a goofy movie.
Something
Between
like
the two of us, we are a goof troop.
We are a goof troop.
Right.
This is good. So, you know, we do the show year-round. And there's only a few months out of those years that involve actual football.
Yep.
In the other 8, 9 months, really not much to talk about. So we do our best to
You
try.
would think, but there actually sometimes is.
There is, but just clearly not as much.
Right.
We find ourselves sometimes saying things that get us, well, not in trouble, but that people remember down the
Memorable
stretch.
moments.
Memorable moments.
Right.
I have 5 of them here that the Verballers nominated as their 5 favorite moments or memes or inside jokes or whatever from the past year of the Solid Verbal. The first was playing the Mr. Softy music. Now, I'm going to play it here to give you some context. If you don't already know, the Mr. Softy music was mentioned or was played every time we mentioned USC. All right? No one was softer than USC this year, right?
No.
That's why we played the Mr. Softy.
Actually, plenty of teams were, but not hilariously so.
So that was the origin of that, Mr. Softy USC. Secondly, and I almost forgot about this. Actually, I blacked out when trying to think about this again. Do you remember when we randomly received a dong shot text message?
I do remember.
Do you remember that?
I thought it was just me receiving the dong.
So here's what happened. I think I finally got to the bottom of it.
You followed the money. You followed the dong.
I pulled a Lester Freeman.
Yeah.
Followed the money.
Yeah, good reference.
You had set up a Google Voice account originally from the Solid Verbal Gmail.
Was it for our voicemail or was it
I
just
don't think
for
it was
me?
It might have been for you. You might have just been trying to test it to see what it did. I don't think you ever used it for anything because I remember when I logged in and looked, there was no activity.
Just for dong shots is all I really used it for.
It was just a devoted dong shot area. Lo and behold, we finally got one.
Yes.
And when it was sent to that account, since we both have tie-ins to, obviously, solidverbal@gmail.com,
right,
we both received it. And it was.
Now, did you get it sent to your email?
It came. It came through the phone. It came through.
I got it through my phone.
Yeah.
This was since I had moved to New York.
Right.
And you're not just talking about dong.
It was more than just the dong.
You're talking about verbs. I mean, it is the Verbies. You're talking about action.
Yeah.
And it when you're not expecting dong shots.
By the way, we were not expecting dong shots.
And I have lived 29 years of my life not expecting dong shots from anybody other than Greg Oden.
Right.
It's a harrowing experience.
It was very harrowing. Yeah. I'm surprised this one did not get more votes. My hunch is that if people
had seen the dong,
had the misfortune that we had, this would have received, I don't want to say much more action because that's sort of getting into a weird area.
The problem was it wasn't just like a text with 4 dongs.
Right.
For me, at least. It was like, here's a dong.
Yeah.
3 minutes pass by. Here's another dong shot.
Oh, and here's something else, too.
And then here is added motion.
Right.
It was a disaster.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I'm Ty.
Yeah.
Ty mistakenly saying he wants to do
Oh, my mother.
Dan's mom.
Yeah. That was an awkward pause.
Did you ever tell Jill Rubenstein
I
about that?
probably did. I think I did.
How does she react?
Not well.
No.
Not well.
Okay.
No, I've made this mistake, not necessarily with, friends' mothers, but I was interviewing an NFL player, a soon-to-be drafted NFL player, who had told me that he was going to start a fried chicken restaurant with his signing bonus.
Okay.
And I said, let me know when you open that up, because I'll eat you out of house and home.
Right.
And the unfortunate dramatic pause was, and I'll eat you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens. I can relate.
Okay.
But it had nothing to do with anybody's mother.
All right. Another one here. I don't know what everyone. Why do they have to do with me so much? Am I like the class clown?
No, I think here's why. Because you are looked at as being so professional.
Right.
So professional, and you keep the show moving. I try to slow it down with my dirtiness.
Right.
But you are the consummate pro. And so when you screw up or there are funny things about you, it resonates with people as being out of the ordinary.
Okay, that's a very logical way to look at it.
Right.
Me having to proclaim that I'm not Asian.
Technically, we're all Asian. Technically, at one point, Pangea was a thing. And we were all Eurasia African.
We're all one.
Right.
I am not Asian. I'm going to proclaim this once more.
Can we, with the camera on,
in
HD, get a DNA swab? To once and for all, what do you have to hide, Ty?
So now, if this were to go on and win the Verby,
right,
would it then be in question?
I think so.
Would it then be in question?
I think people need to know.
If people are still wondering if, in fact, I am Asian.
You've denied that you're Asian so much.
You're thinking I'm overcompensating.
I'm wondering why you're going so out of the way to say that you're not from a proud continent of Asia.
And finally, the awkward moment, and I'm sure you remember this.
Probably.
The awkward moment that occurred after our very first live show. It was week 1. Mm-hmm. It was a Saturday night. We were in the podcast studio.
Right.
Up at SB Nation Studios. And the camera went off, then went back on. And I remember you were
we were just naked.
Yeah, we were full frontal nudity.
It's so hot in here.
And I was just staring at the camera.
Right.
With this cocksure grin on my face, like, what is going on? And I knew the camera, I could see, and we had the
feed in front of us on a
monitor. I saw this was happening.
Yeah.
I'm told this was a funny moment. It received the least amount of votes.
It was funny.
It received the least amount of votes, so apparently not as funny.
Right.
Your winner is... I promise you, folks, I am not Asian.
I don't know!
I promise you I am not Asian.
Your mother has since said that she has gotten the Asian thing?
She has, yeah.
And so, maybe you just don't know. That's why I'm saying DNA swab. What do you have to hide?
Maybe I don't know.
What is going on?
Wow. Okay.
How could you gain from this?
Moving on. Let's go to our next category.
Twitter feed of the year.
Oh, this one's big.
Twitter feed of the year. Last year went to Fake Dan Beebe.
Yeah.
This year we had a whole host of new candidates.
You know who ran that account? It's since come out.
Oh?
Dan Beebe.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Sir Bruce, or as we lovingly know him, Celebrity Hot Tub.
Yes.
He was a nomination.
He's a real human, by the way, and he's not somebody else from that account.
No.
He is an outstanding human. I can verify his fleshiness.
His real name is Sir Bruce.
It is Sir Bruce.
You can look him up on the Googles.
Yeah.
2, Clay Travis.
Beard getting it done.
Clay Travis, some have referred to him as an internet troll, an SEC troll.
Mm-hmm.
I would contend that Clay Travis is very bright and knows exactly what he's doing.
I would say the same.
And he has however many thousand followers for a very real reason.
Yes.
Smart guy.
Smart guy. Did you know he was a lawyer?
Did you know? You know he's related to Randy Travis now.
Nancy Travis is his mother. He started Lake Travis, which is in Austin. Just got a new NBC Sports Network radio show A national radio show.
I didn't know that.
Clay Travis, and that's on top of his radio show.
Wow.
I want to say 104.5 The Zone
In Nashville.
Tennessee. So he is. Get used to Clay.
Wow. Well, good for him.
And tell him you're gay with Y-O-U-R.
There you go. You'll get all sorts of Twitter fame there.
Yes.
3, Evil Bill O'Brien. You follow Evil Bill?
I don't.
Evil Bill's a good Twitter feed. Good
What
Twitter
does he do that's so evil?
It's just like smug Bill O'Brien.
Okay.
You know, as you know, Penn State's kind of fallen on some difficult times here.
Right.
Bill O'Brien stepped into that role. This is supposedly like his alter ego.
I get that.
The things that he's thinking but can't say.
Right.
So I enjoyed following it. I don't know if it's...
Is it like Rocky Road is overrated and people are at the, what is it, the Creamery?
The Creamery.
Like, oh! Yeah.
It's very funny stuff.
Okay.
Evil Bill O'Brien, if you'd like to follow. Fake Bobby Petrino. Another one here. Bobby. You could argue that regular Bobby Petrino is fake Bobby Petrino.
I would say that's fair.
For a number of reasons, but there is a fake Bobby Petrino Twitter handle. And then finally, there is our good friend Spencer Hall from Every Day Should Be Saturday, who is never to be overlooked in the Twitter sphere.
Can't say enough good things. As
he continually pushes out intelligently funny stuff.
I was wondering where you're going with pushes out.
Right, no. Pushes other stuff out as well.
Yeah, Spencer Hall, a friend of the show, a friend of ours personally.
Yes.
Clay Travis is as well. I don't know the Evil Bill O'Brien and fake Bobby Petrino. Celebrity Hot Tub, also a friend of the show.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could have him on either in person or over the phone with one of those voice modulators.
I could do that.
I think that would be
I'm
fun.
confident I could do that.
So,
yeah.
like, thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is actually what he really sounds like.
No, I could do something like that with this board. But for people watching at home, this is the board back here.
I see.
If you can see that is the mixing board. And on it, how many knobs would you say this thing has?
You're slobbing all sorts of knobs on there.
Right. There's like 7 a row, 5 rows. At least like 40? At least like 50 things on here.
Yeah. How many of them? Did you ever figure out like the laser taser button? What was that? What was that button that you couldn't figure out?
There's definitely not a taser button because that would be.
What's the button? There was a button that you got that seemed like it was a violent button.
I don't remember.
The gun.
We'd have to go.
We'd have to go through and look.
I only know what about 10% of those do.
Do you know that treble is not a real thing?
What?
No, I don't. I just made that up.
Okay. Anyway, Sir Bruce, Clay Travis, Evil Bill O'Brien, fake Bobby Petrino, and Spencer Hall.
Here we go.
Your Verby for Twitter feed of the year.
We know it's Spencer Hall.
Spencer Hall, congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations to Spencer Hall.
Horse and swindle to some.
Spencer Hall to all of us. He's a father to us all in many regards. Spencer actually called in. It was such a runaway that we queued Spencer up.
We prearranged.
I said, Spencer, it would really mean a lot to us if we could get you to call in. He said he would.
And he said no originally.
And then we paid him.
Then we sent him some protein shakes.
Right.
And something to shave his head with.
Okay.
And he agreed.
Here's Spencer.
So I understand I have won the Verbies Best Twitter Account Award. You should understand that winning this award is essentially a testament to best time waster. But everyone has to be good at something. So I guess there's that. Thank you so much. I really hope this new year finds you well and hopefully with better things to do than be on Twitter with me, because that's not a good way to spend time.
All right. Thank you, Spencer, for calling in. Congratulations again. That it was Spencer Hall from Every Day Should Be Saturday.
I love the man.
Spencer Hall, congratulations.
Yes.
Okay, here's a big one.
Losing effort of the year.
Losing effort of the year.
This one's tough.
A new category. Unlike the other new category, we decided that we would let people vote on this one. A number of different ways you could look at this type of award and break it down. It could either be losing effort in one particular game by one particular person. It could be an entire team effort.
Sure.
For example, as we'll get to, Baylor's entire offense against West Virginia. A fantastic performance in a losing effort.
Right, yes.
Could pertain to any number of different things. It seems like the majority of nominations that we received here did go that route. One player versus a team. They had a great game. And then the addition, of course, of Baylor. So let's start off with Marquise Lee versus Arizona.
Oh, just an otherworldly game.
Marquise Lee against Arizona. 16 catches.
It was almost more worthy of discussion than the final score of the game itself.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
16 catches, 345 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Right. It was almost the game was like Marquise Lee is for real.
Yeah.
And USC lost, but Marquise Lee is for real.
For real, y'all.
But USC blew a game they shouldn't have blown. But Marquise Lee, yeah,
For real. Tavon Austin
oh my goodness.
versus Oklahoma. Another nomination.
This is a performance that, because West Virginia was no longer really in the Big 12 race,
Right.
and that was a night of a couple of huge upsets in Baylor over Kansas State and Stanford, not as huge as Baylor, but Stanford over Oregon.
Right.
That this performance, what was the final total yardage in this game? It was over like 500 yards or something insane.
Yeah.
Tavon Austin is a bad man.
He's a bad man.
They lined him up at running back. He was not really a running back before that night.
Still did work.
Ridiculous. Through the air in the return game. Just filthy. And, I mean, enough people don't know about this effort in a loss.
Players make plays, Dan.
Players make plays.
Stephon Diggs, also a player.
Oh, ridiculous. Freshman.
For Maryland, he is a true freshman. He was sort of stuck on that Maryland, stock, which, of course, is Randy Etzler's dream job.
Right, dream job.
Stephon Diggs, also a nominee here.
Yeah.
And then finally, Baylor's entire offense versus West Virginia. Scored 63 points in a loss.
Nick Florence, great performance. 63. How do you lose? I don't know how that...
You don't play any defense. That's how you lose.
Don't play the defenses.
But what was funny about it is neither team played any defense. Neither. At all. None of them. They don't know how to play defense.
That's tough. That's a tough category. I personally, just because, and I understand Marquise Lee returns kicks.
Right.
But what Tavon Austin did in that game against an Oklahoma defense that had looked very good up to that point, I think that's the most impressive losing effort. The variety of ways in which he was able to just gash people. Tony Jefferson is a Big 12 quality player.
Sure.
Just got fooled over and over and over again.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, without further ado, Marquise Lee, congratulations.
It's true. It was the story of the game.
Marquise Lee, again, 16 catches, 345 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I will contend still, post-Heisman, that as a football player, at his position, for his position, there is no finer offensive talent in the country.
You can make that case, yeah.
I just did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really make a case. I just made a statement. But I will still say Marquise Lee is more valuable to the wide receiver position than I think Johnny Manziel is to the quarterback position, which is not a slight on Manziel.
No.
It is just how far above and beyond Marquise Lee is and how unguardable he was. I would say the best since perhaps Michael Crabtree or Calvin Johnson.
Now, Baylor got a lot of votes here and came in a distant second place. Marquise Lee was ultimately the runaway victor here. What's interesting, though, about that Marquise Lee game is that obviously it was against Arizona, and Arizona didn't do much in the way of defense this past season.
Not a lot.
So much so that Silas Redd even scored a touchdown in that game.
Exposure.
So I'm not so certain if I had to do this one, I would have voted for Marquise Lee, but just saying.
Yeah. But no, who else put up that kind of yard? Like, it's just, and it wasn't a Matt Barkley thing, because you're talking about short routes that were turned into long gains through moves and tackle breaking and just ridiculous speed. It's not a fair number. It's so out of control. So that's why I'm okay with it.
Tire Fire of the Year.
Tire Fire of the Year. This is a big one, Dan. Tire Fire,
which is what she said.
Oh,
there it is.
One of our original memes.
Yeah.
Tire Fire. We're in the NCAA video game.
We purchased stock footage for the Solid Verbal Live video show. So much so.
With the Tire Fire.
Yeah.
Your 4 nominees are Colorado.
They got demolished by everybody.
Almost fair to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't put them in here. You know, that would almost be fair to Colorado to just leave them out of this entirely.
It's almost redundant to call Colorado football a Tire Fire. It's just sort of inherently known when you mention Colorado.
Arkansas.
A lot of tough off-the-field breaks, but bringing back the players they brought back and the coaches that they did bring back, not necessarily the coaches they didn't, but the coach that they lost was a significant move, but they looked real bad.
They were bad.
They're real bad.
They were really bad.
They improved eventually, but goodness.
Auburn.
Colorado situation.
Yeah.
Where it's not a program defining year. 0 SEC wins. 0.0.
The difference between an Auburn and a Colorado, and again,
who wins that game?
Probably Auburn.
I would say definitely nobody.
Well, nobody wins the game.
Right.
Eyes ultimately lose.
Right.
But if you're actually going to try and score it, Auburn would win. The interesting point here, and again, this is not lost on anybody, Colorado's been down and out for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Down and out for a while. But Auburn just went over the cliff.
Yes.
Over the cliff this year. Gene Chizik's out. Gus Malzahn has since come back now to try and right things down there in Auburn. This was a really bad season.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad season for the Auburn Tigers. They ultimately get rid of Gene Chizik. And then finally, Kirk Ferentz and his Iowa Hawkeyes. Tire fire of the year.
Real bad.
I don't feel like enough people paid attention to the tire fire that was Iowa football.
Again, it's the Big Ten season. It's much as Silas Red is concerned, exposure.
Exposure. Business decision.
Right. Business decisions were I'd rather watch commercials of other networks and other games than the Big Ten games, and Iowa and how much they mattered were rendered sort of useless, because why would you watch a Big
really
Ten
bad.
game that didn't either involve Ohio State or Michigan or at certain points Wisconsin? I don't know.
It was really bad to watch Iowa football.
Right.
Really bad.
Go out of your way.
Your winner here by a clear margin
Yes.
that I did not expect.
War damn Verby.
That's right. Auburn Tigers.
Auburn.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You know, I saw this. We saw this was going to be a runaway, and we decided to reach out to the Solid Verbals official Auburn fan.
Yeah, the ambassador. Yeah.
Rolls Royce 5. Many of you know him from our Verbies, from our email inbox. He is such a devoted Auburn fan.
Seductive voice.
Very seductive. Well, we got a voice sample here. He accepted on behalf of Auburn Tiger Nation. Rolls Royce 5, take it away.
Hey, what's up, Dan and Ty? This is Rolls Royce 5 here, calling in to accept the award for Tire Fire of the Year. It's been a rough year for us Auburn Tigers, but a new day is on the horizon. Coach Gus Malzahn, we're looking to never be in the running for this award anytime soon. Most of all, got to thank the troops, thank Aubie, thank Coach Gene Chizik, and our staff of recruiters. Most of all, just got to remember to thank the troops. All Auburn accepted speeches have to include the troops from here on out. At any rate, thanks for the award. War Eagle, stay solid.
All right. That, again, is Rolls Royce 5. Thanks
Yeah.
to Troops, Dan. You know, a very
Somber?
somber, but at the same time looking forward.
Yes.
Looking forward to next season under Gus Malzahn, hoping that he can right the ship.
I'm going to find that email that he sent us before the season that we were perhaps not giving the due credit to the coordinator hires.
That will live in infamy.
Yeah.
That will live in infamy. Okay, moving on.
Name of the year.
Oh,
Name.
that's very pastoral.
You want to hear that
Let
again?
me get that again.
Name of the year.
It sounds like you're watching some sort of Shakespearean play.
I love it.
Name of the year. Now, this one here is one that's just so difficult to try and narrow down.
Yeah.
Because there are so many good ones out there. God's Power Offer from Wake Forest
Love
is a
it.
name who's already won a Verby. Mm-hmm. We never really established rules saying that he couldn't win another Verby.
He could very well add another Verby to his mantle.
God's Power Offer from Wake Forest, one of
Yep.
your nominations. Also, Barkevius Mingo from LSU.
Kiki
Great
Mingo.
name.
Yep.
I feel like it's been diluted a little bit now that he's trying to go by Kiki.
It doesn't. Did I say Kiko? Kiki. Yeah, Kiki,
Kiki.
Mingo. Intergalactic Overlord of Mingovia.
Of course. He
Two
needs to just
strong entrants.
stick with Barkevius. Steel Jantz from Iowa State,
Sure.
who I don't feel is strong enough in this category to actually win,
Right. A good name,
but a very good name.
but not an outlier.
Munchie Legault.
Oh, that's tough.
Anytime your name is Munchie.
Well, Munchie and combining it with some sort of Cajunness.
Right.
Obviously ending in an X. Strong contender.
From Cincinnati.
I want to say it's not like it's a nickname. Munchie is a nickname that
It is.
stuck as his first name.
Right.
And it's not like his first name was Steven. which is kind of funny. It's even more like regal, and it's Benton.
Benton
Mongilago.
Okay. Jose Cheeseborough from Florida International, which was the lowest vote getter, but quite honestly,
Underrated.
if I'm voting Jose Cheeseborough,
Well, you have Brooklyn.
Right.
You have Queens. You have Staten Island.
it's the sixth borough.
Very few people really recognize the Cheeseborough as an official place to be.
Two more. A favorite of mine.
Yeah.
From Navy, Wave Rider. You can't make this stuff up.
No.
Wave Rider.
At the Naval Academy, no
from
less.
Navy. Navy is on water where waves are and where people run.
I love that. Navy is on water where waves are.
That's right. For those who weren't clear.
How would you say somebody that's sexually attracted to the ocean? Is that like a nautical-ophile?
An
Oceanophile?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are people sexually attracted to the ocean?
I mean, they people are sexually attracted to, Bobby Petrino.
So you're justifying that to be sexually attracted to a body of water?
I'm just
Have
saying.
you ever seen the specials? There are specials on. I don't know if it's TLC or
Yeah.
one of those networks where you have like the weird diseases.
Like the hoarders type things?
Right, but
Yeah.
there's like a special where it's like attracted to something. And there are people that are actually have ongoing sexual relationships with like fences
Yeah.
and roller coasters and cars. If you can be attracted and aroused by a roller coaster, who's
Right.
to say you can't be attracted to the Pacific Ocean?
I'm just saying, I mean, it's where waves are.
Excuse me, I have to go to the Pacific Ocean.
And then finally, Wonderful Terrific Bonds the Second.
Wonderful, terrific Mons. Here's the kicker.
The second.
His father.
Yeah. His father was a baseball player, I believe.
Do you think whenever... Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think if he's ever like in class saying... If he has a professor saying, excuse me, Mr. Mons.
Yeah.
And he says, excuse me, Mr. Mons is my father. Call me wonderful, terrific.
Well, there's no doubt that he has moved double adjective naming, excuse
Right.
me, much further along in this
I like it.
in this society. Wonderful, terrific Mons the Second from Buffalo.
You know what I say when I go to a strip club?
Yeah.
I go, look at those wonderful, terrific Mons on that one.
Oh, look at you.
Ooh.
All right, 7 nominees. Here is your winner. In runaway fashion,
Yes.
Wonderful, terrific Mons the Second.
WTM2.
I reached out to Andy Staples.
Hello, Dan and Ty. This is Andy Staples of Sports Illustrated, keeper of the all-name team, and I am calling to accept the Name of the Year award on behalf of Buffalo's wonderful, terrific Mons II. I remember when I was an intern at Florida Today in 1998, leafing through an Atlanta Braves media guide and seeing that name, that wonderful, terrific name, wonderful, terrific Mons, on an Atlanta Braves farmhand who actually is an older relative of Mr. Mons at Buffalo. And it's just a tremendous, tremendous name. Wonderful, terrific, fantastic. Hopefully he will have a son and will be able to continue the line. So on behalf of wonderful, terrific Mons II, I graciously accept this award, and may God's power offer be with you.
So
I think emotions are running high when you talk about WTM2.
there's just so many good names here.
Right.
Poor Steel Jance. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
I would say best name in Iowa. Well, no, you got James Vanderbeek.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Right.
It's like a top 10 name.
I like it. You have my vote for best Iowa name.
All right, moving right along. That brings us to the Tisdan Trophy.
Tisdan.
The Tisdan Trophy.
This one's hotly competitive.
That's right. This is a intense award.
Right.
One that means a lot to the program.
Right.
Another one that we have actually not prepared for.
No.
It is our Heisman Trophy, but we call it the Tisdan
The
Trophy.
Tisdan.
Who do you got?
Well, are we talking players, coaches, anybody involved in college football, podcast hosts?
Podcast hosts, present company, we'll have to exclude.
Oh, because I was going to give the Tisdan to Ty Hildenbrand.
Right, thank you. I will exclude myself from this.
Right.
Okay. This can go to anyone in and around college football. In terms of the Heisman, obviously, it's just things on the field.
Right.
if you're going to give a Ties Dan trophy out on the solid verbal, you can give it to anybody.
Yeah.
Does not need to be a player. Can be a coach. Can be
Sure.
an entity. Can be a member of the media. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts at around this?
I have all sorts of swirling thoughts. One of my college football persons of the year is actually the person perhaps responsible for the meme of the year, which is you denying your Asian heritage. The guy holding up the sign that said, "I'm Asian,"
Right.
I want to say in Atlanta for the Alabama-Michigan game.
It was an early game, yeah.
That's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So game day had some memorable people involved in the show. The game day pickers, a little bit less so, that we had to see Ryan Lochte. So
Right,
that eliminates
just-
maybe.
that was just like sucking all the energy out of a room when
Right.
you put him on the stick to the pool, Ryan, not speaking.
Right.
That was bad.
We didn't have as many sad fans this year.
No.
Perhaps like the Alabama fan after the LSU loss
We had
last
the
year.
Texas girl who dropped the F-bomb.
I was way into her.
Yeah.
I was way into her. Texas girl's suspect, but I liked her a lot. I'm thinking about her.
Yeah.
Other than I was not prepared for this at all. I should have been. Our media friends, a great list of them.
When we're talking Ties Dan Trophy, this is essentially something to us that was very memorable from this season. Where
Yes.
maybe 10 years from now, you and I are going to look back on this season. We're going to say what was most memorable to us, not only as college football fans,
Right.
but also as preeminent podcast
Right.
hosts.
You have Zach Mettenberger's mustache.
Zach Man. I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So this essentially is something that just meant a lot to us, that when we look back 10 years from now, this is something we're going to remember.
Yeah.
The I'm Asian guy actually has legs in this category for me.
I'm sure he has legs.
And the fact that people are still discussing him, the fact that we got some nominees or some nominations for that man in
Right.
categories where he really had no business being.
Right.
The fact that we got those at all, to me, is important.
So this is like the best college football human of the year.
It's like, yeah, the sports human
Anybody
of the year.
somewhat involved in the game.
I'd be willing to split the award between the I'm Asian guy, the Texas F girl,
Love the Texas F girl.
and Zach Mettenberger's mustache. Those three entities
Really?
get
Okay.
equal parts of the pie.
I think, well, the Texas F girl encapsulates so much of a broader idea
Right.
in one very small GIF. I love that. I think that's my pick.
Should we split it down the middle between the I'm Asian and the Texas
I
F?
think so.
All right, then. Here we go. My half goes to the I'm Asian guy.
My half goes to the Texas F girl.
All right, congratulations.
By the way, Texas F girl, I'm Dan.
Solidverbal@gmail.com.
What's up?
How are you? Okay.
F.
That brings us to our final award of the 2012 Verbies, Dan.
It's a very emotional moment. Always is.
It's an emotional moment. You know, we try not to get emotional about this, but we've been doing it now for, I guess, 5 full
A
seasons.
plural number of years.
Let's just get to this.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Clemson of the year.
Clemson of the year, Dan.
Clemson of the year.
Clemson of the year. A number of different interpretations for Clemson of the year.
Correct.
If you go out to Urban Dictionary, you will see Clemsoning. It's one that we put in collectively into their database. And we said that it's essentially the act of having high expectations and then letting people down.
Sure.
In a singular spot. Okay, if you're a team, for example, Oklahoma State last year, late November against Iowa State, you win, you're essentially into the national championship game. They lose.
It's continuing to increase as the season goes on. The
right,
expectations.
the expectations build. And
Rising
build.
up the... Yes.
Oklahoma State clearly Clemsoned its chances last year. That was a singular event. That was a Clemsoning.
Indeed.
What a Clemson of the year, at least in my estimation, should be awarded to is the team that has those expectations and then throughout the course of a season continues to let you down.
Correct.
On a broad level, the team that had the expectations and then lets you down. So we've got a few really strong nominees here. USC.
Yeah.
USC.
Preseason number 1.
It's tough to do worse than USC.
Real tough.
Or, depending on your perspective, tough to do better in the Clemson of the Year category than USC.
It really was tailor-made or tailor-maze for USC.
There it is.
Yeah, that happened.
Florida State.
Yeah, a lot of people had them in the national championship game. Could not have foreseen how bad the ACC was all season long, but after losing to NC State on the road, of course, and looking really terrible at times on the road.
Yeah.
Strong contender, especially with the ACC ties. Hard to ignore the Noles.
How do you feel about Oregon being on here?
I don't think it fits.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. Now we got a number of Oregon ones.
Well, that's just anti-Dan sentiment.
I don't feel like Oregon really fits here. Oregon had a lot of question marks.
They didn't tumble.
They didn't tumble, and they lost to a good team.
They lost to a good team. They lost to the champion of the conference, and they ended up 11-1 and in a BCS game. So I don't feel like, yes, it was a disappointment to lose at home to a team ranked below them, but I don't feel like it was a tumble. It was a setback that they overcame. Also, I'm a disgusting homer.
Oklahoma also on here. If Oregon doesn't belong, Oklahoma doesn't either.
Right.
Oklahoma had 2 losses this year. Mm-hmm. One to K-State, who won the Big 12.
Correct.
And is going to play in the Fiesta Bowl against Oregon.
Those Ducks.
And Notre Dame, the other, who, of course, is going to be in the national championship game
Never
on
heard
January
of
7th. Right.
Never
of course
heard
not.
of them.
Oklahoma does not deserve to be on this list. They actually received the fewest number of
Who would
votes.
you have on this list in lieu of those teams? Perhaps Oklahoma and Oregon. Who qualifies?
Well, the last one on here is Nebraska.
Nebraska, I think, is fit. They end up in the big, I'd say Texas. They didn't come in with a lot of expectations, but after the first few games,
Texas.
They were increased. They became a top 15 school. They didn't lose to bad teams. They lose to West Virginia. Yes.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking about Matt Barkley, how tumbling from the top seems to garner more attention.
Right.
And there's no doubt it does. But when you tumble from the middle, maybe like an Auburn did, you could make a case for an Auburn here just because they had more expectations at the start of the season. No one ever expected their title, but they fell so hard and so fast.
I like how we're arguing about something we made up.
Right.
I tend to think of this as a bell curve situation where a team sort of rises and increases expectations to like maybe a team that peaks in early October, I'd say, is really a Clemson example.
Okay.
Whereas a team like Auburn, when they just start essing the bed from the outset.
Their peaks were valleys, quite honestly.
Right.
They were,
So you're talking about a team, and I'm trying to think in my head who that would be, just scanning across college football. I don't, it's tough, especially with USC starting the way they did. They start increasing expectations, blowing out some teams, and then just nosedive. USC's making it real easy.
Your winner of the 2012 Clemson of the Year, it was by a convincing margin, wasn't even close. Your USC Trojans, congratulations.
Dun, 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 dun. That's it.
What a great Verbies for the USC Trojans this year.
It's when you see the pictures of like Alicia Keys or Lady Gaga after the Grammys just holding a mountain of awards.
Now you're making emotion here.
Right. Well, we have the video.
So it could either a mountain of awards or 2 other peaks on their own. But
right. That too. But yes, they're juggling to carry Adele carrying all the awards.
Sure.
It's a good thing Lane Kiffin is wearing a jacket so big,
and
cumbersome, that can hold and stuff them in.
Yeah.
That's our Verby. That's the big winner. That's who is splashed across Variety and Hollywood Reporter in the morning.
All right. Well, since it is such a big award, and since it did go to USC, I reached out to our friend Ryan Abraham,
Inside Troy,
Inside Troy from the Peristyle
USC football.
Yeah. Here is his acceptance speech.
It is my honor to accept this Verby for Clemson of the Year award on behalf of USC. As you know, the Trojans went from number 1 in the AP poll to 7-5 and in the Sun Bowl. How very Clemson of them. While spending New Year's Eve in El Paso isn't the ideal Christmas gift, Lane Kiffin has been very generous this year, giving us storylines on a weekly basis. Thanks, Ty and Dan, and happy Verbies, everyone.
All right. Happy Verbies. Congratulations again to USC, and thank you to Ryan Abraham for being a good sport.
Absolutely. I'm real curious to see who their 2014 coach will be and whether or not he will wear a coat Or maybe he'll just attend the Verbies in a good seat as his team prepares to go to the national championship game.
Sure.
That's entirely. Max Brown, big quarterback coming in. You never know. It could be a one-year blip for the Trojans.
Could be.
Yep.
It could be. Well, that does it.
You know, I don't know how long we ran with that show. Do you have a runtime in front of you?
About an hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like that was $2 worth of entertainment.
It was.
That is literally worth $2.
It was good to have you down here to do this in person. We're dressed up.
I'm glad to be here.
It's like a formal occasion, you know. We've got the camera pointed at us here. We're in Solid Verbal East Studios. It doesn't get much better than this, much more
This is a great room, by the way.
fitting than this.
I can't imagine the things that have happened in this room. What is up?
You have no idea, Dan.
Male friends of Ty who sat in here and watched TV and played video games.
Oh, it was crazy back in the early 90s.
Simpler days.
The things that went on.
Is this show brought to us by anybody?
This show is not brought to us.
No, it is not brought to anybody, no.
This show is brought to us by the Verbars.
Sponsor free.
Let me tell you who this show is brought to us
Yes.
by. The show was brought to us by a whole number of people who helped make this possible.
Yeah, hit me.
We could not manage this all on our own.
No.
Because it was just too difficult. There were so
I'm
many...
going to say we could have,
but we're horribly
we
lazy.
We really don't have the energy.
So we mentioned the Verbies Ninja Squadron at the start of the show.
Amazing, folks.
Mama Hildenbrandt was on the Verbies Ninja Squadron.
Great.
She fielded some of the nominees that came in. Travis in Texas, another one who helped us out.
Travis Norman, follow him on Twitter.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Travis helped us out. He's been a long-time Verballer. He made this all possible.
An attorney, I believe.
Smart guy.
Do you recognize, can you tell me the Twitter handles or names of people just by their avatar?
Yes.
I'm pretty good.
I
Long-time people?
Yeah.
Because we got an email from our friend Kent.
Sure.
At a certain point. And you didn't need to tell me what he looks like or where he's. I know exactly. He has a green and yellow shirt on, or there's a lot of green and yellow in his picture. I knew that immediately. That means we're either extraordinarily detailed with our attention, or just sad human beings that pay way too much time and attention to Twitter.
Maybe a little of both. But
yeah, I'd say a little A, B,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We remember the faithful.
But yes, Travis in Texas, long timer.
Travis in Texas helped us out. Also, Matt. The Florida State fan, Matt.
Yeah, of course.
Albrizio,
I know exactly what he looks like.
He's got the black and white
sort of
Twitter
sketch
avatar.
of himself, yeah.
Matt's been very helpful in getting this off the ground.
Love it.
Could not have done this without him. Also, we need to send a big shout out to JP. Some of you know him as the Indie Verballer. We'll call him the Indie Verballer here for the purposes of this show. He was sort of like our resident historian for the Verbies.
I love it.
He helped us compile some previous year's Verbie results so that we could get them up on the website. And then finally, we need to send a big shout out to our good friend Jason Ground, who provided all the voiceovers.
Great.
For for the intro, for all of the different categories that we awarded out here today.
Does he have a website?
I don't know if he has a website. If he does, we'll post it somewhere where people can get to it.
How do you spell his last name?
Just like, the
Ground. For
Jason,
any voicemail work you need.
He's down in Florida.
Pro's pro.
He a good guy. Helped us out here in a big way. Whatever we needed, said he'll do it. Has a tremendous voice if you need voiceover work.
I sometimes hear, like when in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to Pennsylvania for the Verbies.
Yeah.
In my head, what's ingrained whenever I think Verbies is him saying, you've heard of the Herbies. I love that. It's so great. And I just love listening to that in my own head.
He's very good. So without those individuals, none of this would be possible. And of course, without you guys who chose to download for $1.99 to help us out, to help us get to Miami. Hopefully,
you want pictures of Ty in a strip club? You got them.
Hopefully, we'll get to Miami. We'll go to the game. We'll see
yes
how that all shakes out. But we do appreciate all your support. Again, we're not going to sell these shows on any regular occasion, but this was something special. We're going to use this money to help out the show, to get us to Miami, to give you more coverage.
Yep.
Once the calendar turns to 2013, and we can't thank you all enough.
Fair. I'm blown away by the support and the participation.
Always a lot of fun.
Your late local news is next.
Always a lot of fun.
Yes.
All right, Dan. Well, thank you for making the drive down here.
Thank you for having me.
On the bus, we appreciate having you into the studios where it all sort of began here.
Look at all this. Ty's diploma.
In beautiful Northampton,
right above
PA.
us.
This is true. Thank you, everyone, for downloading the show. For that guy over there, Dan Rubenstein, for myself, Ty Hildenbrandt, thanks again for all your support. Catch you all when we catch you. In the meantime, stay solid.
Peace!